Hello. I am Patrice Silver, and I decided that I wanted to do my teaching philosophy on video. I think that it would be exciting to do it on video because, well, in this world now that we're living in, everything is done with technology. And so, in my philosophy, I really want to talk about the use of technology and what I believe as a teacher. I first started teaching in 2010, and I started my teaching career as a Peace Corps volunteer in Jamaica. And when I was in Jamaica, I came across a student who people did not believe that this child can learn. They thought he was stupid, and they even called him stupid. They called him a full pygmy. And so in Jamaican patois, a pygmy is a child, and they basically said that he was a stupid child. And not only did they tell him this to his face, but they would talk about him in front of other teachers and say the same thing. And so you can imagine the impact that this had on this specific child. And a lot of the times with children, when somebody is telling them that they are something, that's what they think they are. And then a lot of the times they maybe act that out. He had behavior challenges, and he was bullied. And sometimes people will look and think that he was actually the one that was the bully. But then if you looked a little bit deeper, it wasn't him who was a bully. It was other kids. I remember one time when I was walking home, and I just seen a group of students crowding around him, teasing him and poking and making fun. And so that's when I realized it wasn't him that was a bully. It was the other students. And I broke it up, of course. But I think knowing this and seeing this, happen to him, and I saw how low his self-esteem was, that I wanted to really work with him. And in Jamaica, the kids really, I was using a program called Jolly Time Phonics, and this program uses a lot of TPR, a lot of different actions that associate the phonics with, so every sound was associated with a different action. And there was games and songs, and the kids loved it. And by using this program, I was able to help him to achieve. And so from this experience, that's where I really learned, and I really was able to see and grasp the understanding that every child can learn. And you want to know something? Sometimes I think as teachers, we focus so much on, oh, this person has their credentials, or this person has that, or but then the people who have their credentials, they are the ones that's beating kids over the head and telling them they can't do something. And so I think anybody can learn and anybody can teach, and that experience is our best teacher. In saying that, I've also learned a lot at Mason, and I value everything that I've learned here. And so I think it's important to believe that all children can learn. Because if we don't believe that all children can learn, why are we teaching? What is the purpose of teaching if we don't want to teach our students? That's our purpose. That's our goal in life. We want to make a difference in the lives of these children who we have in our in our steed, or who we are responsible for. And it is our responsibility to touch the life and to help each and every one of those students in our classroom to achieve. In regards to classroom management, I think that there's this book I think it's called like Love and Logic. And so I think that there's a way and a lot of my philosophies is based off of this book. And so basically with this path, you're disciplining children in a loving way, which I think everybody should be doing, or at least I think that's how it should work. And so the philosophy in regards to how to discipline students in a loving way is simply, you give them back the power. And so instead of you going and telling them, this is what you did wrong, this is why it's wrong, you sit down and you ask them and you talk to them. So, what happened? Um, what do you feel about the situation that happened? Uh, do you think that this is something that is acceptable or unacceptable? What do you think? You ask, you give the children control, right? Um, and then a lot of the times they will see that maybe the action that they displayed isn't the best action. And then, and once they understand that that action isn't the best action, you then ask them, well, what should happen as a result of this action? What do you think? What will you accept, or what are you willing to work on in order to change this behavior? And I really actually like this philosophy because I've worked with middle school students before, and as a result of working with middle school students, I learned how important it is that as a teacher, we act as a facilitator and not somebody who's standing in charge over top of our students, but we facilitate. And facilitating learning means that we have to have an engaging classroom. So sometimes classroom management starts off from there. If our class and our teaching isn't engaging to the students, then yeah, they're probably going to display behaviors that's unwanted because they're bored. They don't like what you're doing. But if they're engaged, then they're engaged, and those behaviors are probably not going to happen. And so I think that's the first thing actually when it comes to classroom management, is to make sure that your students are engaged. And so I also mentioned that I wanted to talk about classroom technology. In the midst of COVID-19 and where everybody is teaching online, I think that this isn't something that's going to be new, or isn't something that's going to disappear. I think that it's an opportunity for us to engage in more technology. Technology is where the world is right now, and it's what students are interested in, and it's what's teaching others to learn. There's so many different apps out there right now that we can be using in our classroom to help engage our students and get them interested in learning. There's a ton of apps, and it's quite amazing what technology and social media is able to do. For example, right now in at my school, we're using a program called Seesaw, and I love Seesaw because it's kind of like Facebook but for education and for the kids. And so all of the kids in the classroom and their families, you're able to post their work, and it's like a portfolio that they're building as well. And parents can see it, they can comment, teachers can see it and can comment, and even their other students can comment. But I think, again, it's important that everybody remembers that our comments must be encouraging and that we must be positive. And this is a learning environment where we want to create or set the goal and remember that everybody can learn. And so these are some of the most important things to me in regards to teaching and how I am as a teacher and who I want to become as a teacher. I want to I want to be a teacher that always remembers that all students can learn. I want to be a teacher who manages a classroom where the environment is very loving and supportive, and the teachers and the students will see me as a facilitator in engaging their learning, and it's a place where they feel safe to learn. And I also want to be somebody who is on a continuous path of growth. And for me, growth means, especially right now, it means engaging in technology and learning new skills to help students to learn the best that they can. I think that's my responsibility as a teacher. And so, yeah, that's my philosophy. Okay. Thank you. Bye.